putting together the ceremony story. So now that we have taken our wide, medium, heroes, and tights, we can see them all next to each other and see how they look as a blog spread or an album spread, which is essentially why we're telling you guys this type of process, that how we take these images.
Exactly. So when it goes to albums, publications, blogging, everything, we want to have the ability to be able to showcase every piece of the story, and to do that well in an interesting format, we need to have those wide, medium, tight images. Now, based on how well you shot that setup, you should have flexibility in the way that these are put together.
Yeah.
So we have 3 different layouts from the exact same set of images here. This is a 5-piece spread. Why don't you go through the different shots? So we have our scene setting shot in the middle.
Yeah, so we have our wide in the middle, and then on the left-hand side, we have that table that we had discussed, and you can see here it's perfectly cropped for a square. And then right beneath that, you have the chair tight detail shot. And then on our right-hand side, we have a closer view of the altar, and then closer views of the setup near the altar.
And when we go to the next shot, we have the same set of images that are used in a different format. So if this were the person that was setting up just the altar themselves, this is probably what they would put on their blog, right? Where you have a hero shot of the altar, you have a close-up of like the different details, you have a close-up of the frame and the flowers that are put along it. Another setup, this one could be used by, say, the venue themselves. They might want this kind of a spread because they want to showcase the entire property, the setup of the kind of that hero, the welcome shot of going down the aisle, and then the hero shot of the altar itself. So same sets of images, depending on how well they're shot. If there's a strength to kind of the composition and making sure that you went wide, medium, tight, then you should have a lot of flexibility in how they're used in any form of publication, no matter what it is. And that's what these coordinators, that's what these publishers, they're looking for, is the ability to be able to control and use these images for layouts and magazines, and for the venue to be able to use them in marketing collateral and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's show some real ceremony examples from real weddings.
And just so you know, that the styled shoot was essentially, it was enacted as if it was a real wedding ceremony.
Correct.
You'll see that in photographing the ceremony. It was the same styled shoot that we used. So it's not necessarily that that wasn't a real wedding. It's that this is actually, these are paying clients, and that's just what we're showing.
Yeah, it gives it a chance to kind of like take time and show each of the different angles. When it comes to these, we're going
Rapido.
very quick.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so again, we have that scene setting wide image that we had talked about, showcasing the venue and the decor. And then on our left-hand side, we get a little bit closer with our medium shot that still shows the flowers, the venue, and the decor, and then getting even tighter, showing that chandelier and the flowers. And then our right-hand side, getting a different view of the flowers with a centerpiece that's at the beginning of the aisle, and then getting those chairs in. So you actually have like a pretty complete set of images that kind of showcase what's going on here.
Totally. This is at the Langham. So same thing, we go wide, set up the scene, we go hero, and this is a more simple setup.
Yeah.
So we're just showcasing one of the pieces, the flowers up on the pedestal for this shot. Simple 3-piece spread. I would say at a minimum, you need at least enough images for a 3-piece spread.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the wide, medium, tight. That's the minimum, is 3 images that are that can be used in sequence. But obviously when it comes to publishing, when it comes to blogging, when it comes to albums, when it comes to every one of these different pieces of collateral, and everything's been created from this, the more the better. Now here is that sofa, and once again, we have the different elements, and this is just part of the different elements, because the sofa actually has like 14 to 15 different pieces on it. You're probably not gonna have a blog or album spread that has like every single one of them, but these are the primary ones that go into the ceremony itself.
And then a really quick note here, I know that for those of you that haven't shot Persian weddings, the sofa usually includes a mirror because it's part of the ceremony. So something to note in this specific image, the shooter got a little bit lower so that they wouldn't be seen, because originally they'd probably get higher to get more ocean, but you obviously would be seen in the middle of the aisle, so.
Okay, so from a ceremony side, that's how we're gonna tell the complete story. Wide, medium, tight. That's the shot list that I want you guys to be thinking of. I want you to think towards that blog spread, towards the album. It doesn't really matter. Just think towards the final product in the moments of shooting and scouting. And really it's in the moments of scouting, right?
Yeah.
As you're walking the scene and looking, you're gonna go, that's unique, that's unique, that's unique. Here's my primary hero shot. Here's my angle that I'm gonna go for. This is the one that I'm gonna shoot for the venue.
Yeah.
And then you simply go through, and in your mind, you're basically piecing together that final spread, this final product, as you're going through and shooting it. It's already planned out. It's already in your mind's eye. Now you're just bringing it to life.
And one thing I want to note is that you'll see that all of these images, when put together, you'll see how cohesive they look in terms of the style and the lens choice and the aperture chosen. So that's something to keep in mind when you're shooting, is that even though, you know, this shot's at 7.1, the exposure settings match the rest of the other images.
Yeah.
So it's super important when you look at them in a spread, and even when you're scrolling on the back of your camera to see like, oh, if you have your highlight alert on, you can see that you've blown out a certain image, and it's like, that doesn't match the other exposure settings of my other images.
Yeah, so the way that you're going to be lighting and shooting, I mean, all these are natural light images, but when we get into the ceremony or reception, we have the choice there of how to light.
Yeah.
So the way that you light and shoot needs to be exactly the same for all those shots. If you are shooting, like, if you shoot f7.1 because you want every single thing in focus for 3 of the shots, and then you take one shot at 1.4, that's not going to fit when you put it next to each other in an album. So if you're going to do all the detail shots and the close-ups wide open, do them all wide open.
Yeah.
Then when it comes into post, make sure that you apply the same look to all of them so that when you put them into a layout, it's one cohesive set of images. So great point. Let's go on to the next video.